The former leader of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, has been freed on bail after winning a challenge against a finding of contempt of court. But he'll face a fresh court hearing on the allegations later in the year. Our correspondent Tom Burridge has been at court for us, and Tom, just explain this ruling this morning.
Yeah, Simon, Tommy Robinson is a very divisive figure, and there were two groups, one supporting him and one against him outside court today. It's his supporters that are cheering for now, because he will be released, but he will have to be back in court again, and then a judge will look at whether or not his actions in May of this year were potentially prejudicial to a trial at Leeds Crown Court. His supporters celebrating and chanting at anti-fascist protesters on the other side, as news filtered out of court that Tommy Robinson was going to be released from prison on bail.
I think that's great. I believe that he was jailed unfairly in the first place. You know, he was jailed incredibly quickly.
The High Court accepted Mr Robinson's appeal for most of his jail sentence, relating to his actions outside Leeds Crown Court in May. He had pleaded guilty and was jailed in a matter of hours. And this is why he's walking free today.
Essentially because the process was flawed.
I've caused a breach of peace. I'm being arrested.
But a judge will now still have to decide whether Tommy Robinson's broadcast via Facebook outside an ongoing trial at Leeds Crown Court risked prejudicing the case.
Can you get me a solicitor? Yeah.
His video was watched some 250,000 times, and he was accused of breaching a suspended sentence from another broadcast he made outside Canterbury Crown Court months earlier.
I want to say a personal thank you to each and every one of you.
Robinson is a product of the internet age. Sites like YouTube allow the founder of the English Defence League to reach many more people than far-right leaders of the past. Before his arrest, he had struggled to attract as much support. But Mr Robinson's profile has risen since then at home and abroad. This was the Dutch far-right leader Geert Wilders addressing his supporters in London last month.
Free Tommy Robinson!
But while some will celebrate Tommy Robinson's release on bail, others see a more sinister side.
For the right, they'll see it as a celebration. Really, they're putting Tommy Robinson up as someone who's a freedom fighter, and the truth is, he's not standing up for ordinary people. He's trying to divide ordinary people and stuff over it. And I think that anybody who believes in democracy and believes in a multiracial society has to stand up against what Robinson believes in.
Mr Robinson will appear soon in front of another judge, and if found to be in contempt of court, he could be jailed again. Now, Simon, as you and I know, contempt of court, the idea that you might prejudice a trial is a basic lesson in any journalistic handbook. We have to think about it all the time when we cover a legal case or even before a case has gone to trial. But in this day and age, anyone posting anything online about an ongoing legal case has to be careful. And that's essentially what the case against Tommy Robinson is all about. Now, his appeal today essentially succeeded because he was jailed so quickly relating to his actions outside Leeds Crown Court in May, and he didn't get the chance essentially to appeal against the idea that some of the parts of the video might not have been prejudicial, or certain parts which could have been in contempt of court. He needed to argue essentially that they weren't. That will take place now because there will be another hearing. He'll appear before a judge relatively soon, and another condition on his bail is that he cannot now go within 400 metres of Leeds Crown Court.
Tom Burridge at the High Court, thank you very much.
Good afternoon. The former leader of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, is being released on bail after winning a legal challenge against his 13-month prison sentence. Robinson was jailed in May for contempt of court after he filmed people involved in a criminal trial and broadcast the footage on social media.
He will be released from custody and admitted to bail on condition that he attends the rehearing and does not approach within 400 metres of Leeds Crown Court pending that rehearing.
Well, Joe Tidy is at the Royal Court of Justice for us now. Joe, what is the background to this?
We have to go back to May 2017, Gamal, to get the context of this. It was back at a court case in Canterbury where Tommy Robinson was doing his job, as he calls it, a citizen journalist, to try and uncover what he saw as being effectively a cover-up of the court case. He was given a 3-month suspended sentence when he admitted to being in contempt of court by filming inside the court building and attempting to film the defendants and the jurors and people who were part of that court case, as well as discussing the case openly during his broadcast, which he put on the internet. He was given an 18-month suspension, so that was activated effectively in Leeds this year in May, when he was arrested again for contempt of court, and that was added to a 10-month sentence for the offences in Leeds, or rather alleged offences, because of course to now we will have to rehear those offences because the conviction has been quashed. But in Leeds the situation there was very similar. It was there were blanket reporting restrictions, which means that journalists can't say certain things about the case because it may prejudice the trial and make it unfair and effectively derail the ongoing judicial process. But Tommy Robinson filmed a Facebook Live lasting around an hour's time. He was seen by about 250,000 people, and he gave away details of the case, which may have effectively caused the trial to collapse, costing hundreds of thousands of pounds. So he was given that 10-month plus a 3-month, so a 13-month prison sentence, which he has been fighting ever since.
And Joe, the judge was highly critical of the trial, wasn't he? What did he say?
Absolutely, yeah. The High Court appeal judge handed down his judgment in a very short hearing this morning, and effectively this was about the two different cases, the Canterbury contempt of court case and the Leeds contempt of court case. He upheld the Canterbury contempt of court and said that that was fine, and that he's already served, Tommy Robinson has already served that 3 months for that. But it was the Leeds one that effectively he agreed with almost everything that Tommy Robinson's legal team had argued. Mainly it was around the timing. Tommy Robinson was arrested when he was found in Leeds to be in potential contempt of court, and jailed in the space of 5 hours. And Lord Chief Justice Lord Burnett said of the speed of this, once the appellant had removed the video from Facebook, there was no longer sufficient urgency to justify immediate proceedings. He also described the particulars of the case as being in a muddle. He said no particulars of the contempt were formulated or put to the appellant, Tommy Robinson. There was a muddle over the nature of the contempt being considered. There was no clarity about what the appellant was admitting or on what basis he was being sentenced. So effectively, Tommy Robinson has been bailed. He is now a free man, but he will be back in court soon to face these charges once again.
OK, Joe, thank you.